Jason Goes to Hell. A virulent, festering, pus-filled, plague-ridden ghost of a movie that, at times when I had stopped banging my head on the coffee table in anguish, was visually unstunning. This Jason sequel, called Jason Goes to Hell: The Final Friday, was, in my opinion, only for the fans of Jason. Uh, the official summary is Jason Voorhees, the living, breathing essence of evil, is back for one fierce final fling. Since he was tracked down and blown to bits by an FBI task force, everyone assumes he's finally dead. Director Adam Marcus, is this the best you have? Is this the best you can do? Honestly? And that little thing, that little penis worm, coming out of Jason's mask. Doesn't even look like his mask. Looks like some sort of metal, liquid metal thing. T-1000 kind of face. That is more akin to a tentacle monster you would normally find in hentai, where it is more of a long tongue-like thing that comes out of the mouth of people he possesses. Jason, I mean. He possesses people, uses their bodies, and then as he transfers to another one, via tentacle monster coming out of the mouth, they melt away like hot, hot clay. It looks more like molasses. They completely dissolve. It all starts when this bounty hunter organizes a task force to take down Jason Voorhees, which, of course, ends up him being blown to bits, as the summary states. The autopsy goes as planned, except for the still beating heart of Jason Voorhees, uh, which is inexplicably, pardon me, and quite stupidly, this is quite stupidly executed, since there is no real rhyme or reason to it. The coroner eats the heart of Jason Voorhees. Why he does this? It is not explained. It begins beating, and then he grabs it and munches down. Goes nom nom nom. Then these little colored lights flash into his chest, and he starts roaring like a beast. The next coroner comes in, with pizza and beer, and is killed by a probe. One of those medical probes. The first coroner kills him with a medical probe. Then kills the two guards outside. The main character, a geeky jock, is shallow. His character is shallow. You don't really know much about him. I didn't even catch his name. Throughout the entire movie, I have forgotten the main character's name because it was used so little. This abomination of a movie is one of the worst kinds of movies. That is a sequel that should have never been made. Okay? I would rather poke my eyes out with a rusty spoon than watch this movie again. It is like swallowing sandpaper and then singing an opera, with everybody booing at you. Not because you swallowed sandpaper and sound like a stray cat being strangled in a backyard, by a hobo with rusty fingers, but because you're singing opera. Now, Jason Voorhees, the living, breathing essence of evil. Well, even the summary deserves some of my verbal abuse because Jason Voorhees, as we all know, is probably undead by now. Since he takes millions of bullets in the chest and still doesn't go down. Uh, so he doesn't really live, he doesn't really breathe, he just exists to kill. Evil, I'll give you that. Living and breathing, you're penalized for that. Summary, you have just penalized the entire pill rating. No, I'm not that petty. This was an hour and a half of pure torture. And I'm not just talking about the people that were victims. This was, to be blunt, as if I'm not blunt already, one of the worst slasher flicks I've ever seen. Uh, other movies notwithstanding, I could bear to not watch this ever again, as I've mentioned previously. The dialogue in this movie was painful at best. Tolerable. Tolerable storyline. Sort of original. Serial killer gets killed finally. Demonic. Actually, you know what? No, storyline totally unoriginal. Totally unoriginal. I did not like the storyline. The storyline totally lacked everything that makes a storyline a storyline. That would be story. It's only for the people that are hardcore followers of the Jason series. And this wasn't even the last in the series. It says the final Friday, but you know what? Number 4 said the last chapter, and it kept going. So, you know what? Screw that. There was nudity, as always, in slasher films. There has to be nudity, there has to be sex. It was very brief, which was a godsend because it was totally unbearable. These 80s. Actually, no, this I thought this was made in the 80s. This is 1993. This was 1993. The 90s was not a good decade for movies. It was not a good decade. Nuh-uh. Not a good decade for movies. So overall, I give this bing 1 pill. 1 pill. Because this movie made me want to claw my eyes out and roast my own tongue over hibachi. Got some iced tea. It's good. Roast my own tongue on a hibachi and serve it up to myself. It was that tasteless. Get it? Yeah. It was a very, very bad movie. I didn't like it. So, this is FragPenguin. This is the 3rd review that I've done. Next month, from now on, I'm going to be sticking to movies that aren't mainstream. This was actually out in theaters, believe it or not. So I'm going to be sticking to straight to DVD features and other stuff like that. So I'll see you later, folks. I'm FragPenguin. Goodbye. Bipolar King Comedy.